Keep going.
The first Hispanic head coach to win the Super Bowl. One of 2 players to win a Super Bowl as a coach and player. And, well, a 20-year broadcasting career with the Raiders Network.
And he won as an assistant coach before he won, or after he won as a player, he won as an assistant coach, and then went to as a head coach.
Finally in the Hall of Fame as the senior candidate. It took fucking decades, literally decades, to get this man in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, man, I almost cried when I saw the news, to be honest.
Cliff Branch is next. The original deep threat, Cliff Branch, number 21. I wish receivers could wear 21 and get into the league. But only if you're good. You can't be trash and wear 21.
But with that, can we get these Super Bowl jokes off now?
I mean, yeah, I was already doing that, but I guess we'll just skip down to... Yeah, you know, we'll just talk about the rest of the NFL Hall of Famers that got in. Jumped the gun a little bit, but that's okay.
Wait, I'm confused. So, can I talk about the Super Bowl or not?
Yeah, you can talk about the Super Bowl. That's why I just said. I said you jumped the gun a little bit.
This is going to be a drop. Eric, take note of this time.
This is definitely going to be a drop.
Can I talk about the Super Bowl yet?
Yeah.
Did the Super Bowl happen last week? I don't know, Kenny. With that, man, I think the focus is too much on Pat Mahomes, but yeah, he saw Rich Gannon's Super Bowl game against the Bucs and pretty much said, "Hold my beer." Shout out to whoever tweeted that out because it was fucking true.
I'd still rather have Patrick Mahomes in that game. They would have a better chance at winning.
Yeah, but as much as we're talking about the Chiefs and how they didn't execute, like Mikhail said, Mikhail literally said the worst case scenario, and that's what happened. They were dropping balls, et cetera, et cetera. But can we give some credit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man? Like, for real.
They were the number 1 defense in the league.
A fucking defense that was basically left for dead. Jason Pierre-Paul, when he left New York, nobody was fucking looking for him. This man wasn't even supposed to play on Sunday. Again. He was out. Like, I think he was listed as doubtful up until Friday. Or questionable.
He's 8-0 in the playoffs. You know that? He's never lost in the playoffs.
That's wild.
4-0 with the Giants in that run.
And Ndamukong Suh, damaged goods after Miami.
Lies.
Even more damaged goods after L.A.
Bigger lies.
And then Tampa even released him and then brought him back. Guess what?
They knew what the right choice was.
Shout out to Gerald McCoy, man. Sorry.
That would hurt. I thought about that, but I'm like, Gerald McCoy deserved to be here. Levante David got the ring, but Gerald McCoy is probably crying in his bat cave somewhere.
He would have a bat cave.
He does.
Gerald McCoy would. It was on
Hard Knocks, and he's a bat cave. But we've already spoken on this podcast about how we feel about Batman. Speaking of which, since I'm talking about Batman,
wait, I'm not done.
I don't know. I'm just interrupting you thing to address some beef. Salutes is just a dope ass podcast. So yeah, I'm gonna be on their show on the 22nd to clear up some things because you know.
Okay, Mancini.
Touchdowns and tangents.
Okay, Mancini.
Started this Good News Sports gangsta shit, and it's the motherfucking thanks we get.
Okay,
I'm just confused. Like,
okay, Mancini.
When Good News Sports started their podcast section, touchdowns and tangents was there. So when certain people say just a dope ass podcast is their favorite sports podcast, well, Pete and I take offense to that. We love you though.
I didn't know that was a sports podcast.
Know it was deep like that.
They're not a sports podcast. They were just shooting jokes, but it's all funny. They were clowning. They were trying to clown.
Hell nah. But yeah, let me finish down my fucking list. Shaquille Barrett. Fucking
about to get paid
at Denver for damn near 3 seasons, riding the bench behind
like 5.
Behind Von Miller and Bradley Chubb and DeMarcus Ware.
Then Bradley Chubb came in.
Leaves, second round pick, doesn't get a lot of interest, ends up in Tampa Bay, leads the league in sacks,
gets the All-Pro nod.
Didn't get an All-Pro nod, didn't get a long-term contract still.
Didn't make the Pro Bowl, I don't think.
And guess what? Balls out in the Super Bowl.
The whole playoffs.
Vita Villa misses the whole fucking season. Broken
ankle.
McLendon traded away from what? Pittsburgh, the Jets. I don't even know where the fuck he was before this. But yeah, the defensive line showed up for Tampa Bay. Really controlled the line of scrimmage. They couldn't do shit. Devin White should have been a Raider.
12 tackles, 2 for loss, and a game-winning interception.
Antwaan Winfield Jr., did he go in the second round?
He went, I think, in the third, maybe, but he should have been a Raider.
And people were talking about him going even later than that.
Spitting image of his fucking father. His father was 5'9" in a corner, getting 100 tackles a year, 5 picks. Ridiculous. Out of Ohio State. He was a baller for Buffalo and the Vikings. Never won a Super Bowl, but he got close. But yeah. And also, you're forgetting Levante David, the longest tenured member of the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and Jaden Meekins has a ring. So shout out to Raiders fans.
And I think he went to Dorsey.
Did he?
I think he went to Washington, but he went to school out here. I think he went to Dorsey or Inglewood, one of those two. He went to some school out here.
So yeah, man, shout out to them, and even the offensive line really showed up for
Ryan
Tampa Bay.
Gentleman was like a Division III player.
The running game was unstoppable, basically.
Ronald Jones, you were shitting on me for going to work, and shout out to Keith for paying his Super Bowl debt.
Bro, you really been standing for Ronald Jones for a solid 2 years,
and he has a Super Bowl ring. So shut up.
Yeah, can I get my Leonard Fournette flowers? Can I get... Dog, I've been believing in Leonard Fournette. I believed in Leonard Fournette when Leonard Fournette didn't even believe in Leonard Fournette.
What the fuck are you talking about? Did you not watch him as a grown man
last
in high
year?
school?
You were saying you were saying he was washed after last year when he had that down year in Jacksonville.
No, I said he was
You're
washed
like,
2
he's
years
done.
ago.
He's washed.
No, I said
you've
he was
been
washed 2
saying
years
that,
ago.
bro.
I said
for 2 years, you've been saying he's washed.
I said he was washed 2 years ago when he got hurt. And then he got healthy and had a Pro Bowl year, and I was like, "Oh, he's back." And
no, you said he was washed, bro.
You check tape.
You've been saying he's washed.
You check
You've
tape.
been saying Leonard Fournette is washed.
I never said he was permanently washed.
Yeah.
I said he was rinsed. He got washed.
My God.
Dried off. He dried off in Jacksonville. Then, went to a proper dry cleaners in Tampa Bay and could probably have 1,000 yards, but they don't need to do that for that offense. So, Ronald Jones had a great year. Was, I think, 5th in the league in rushing. So, salute to Ronald Jones. Salute to... is Peyton Barber on that roster still? He didn't get drafted. He came out of Auburn. But shout out to all the running backs on it. LaShawn McCoy got his second ring.
For not playing.
Didn't play a single snap in 2 Super Bowls. But you know what? He deserves it. So all y'all hating on Shady McCoy, because we got a segment coming up later in the show addressing that. Fuck you, and your mom's a hoe.
Jesus.
And your daddy never won.
You really standing for LaShawn McCoy like that?
Yes, I am. Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Fight me.
Is it worse
in the street.
Is it worse that he got a Super Bowl ring without playing it down, and Antonio Brown has a Super Bowl ring?
I'm happy Antonio Brown got a Super Bowl ring. I think he needed it for his mental health. Because if they would have lost,
we could all use a Super Bowl ring for our mental health.
Bro, what the fuck am I doing a Super Bowl ring if I'm not on the team in some capacity?
Dog, we gotta get.
If they just send
we
me
gotta
a
get
ring.
my high school teammate who's the Eagles YouTuber on here to debate this. But
by the way,
where does LaShawn McCoy even rank in terms of great Philadelphia backs?
He's near the top.
How about great Philadelphia players?
1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns one year.
How about amongst great?
He's top 3, bro. He's better than Westbrook.
Okay.
No, you trying to disrespect LaShawn McCoy? You can check his stats right now,
I'm not
motherfucker.
disrespecting LaShawn
91
McCoy.
total touchdowns for his career,
bro.
and most of them came in Philly.
It was a question.
He went to fucking Siberia and Buffalo and wasted 5 years of his career and still was making Pro Bowls and still top 5 in rushing, even though they were pedestrian numbers.
When he was in Buffalo, he was the Buffalo Bill.
The only best player, the only person they had, averaging 5 yards a carry, 4.5 yards a carry. Come on. He earned the ring. On top of that, ironically, Antonio Brown has almost better numbers than Calvin Johnson. But we'll talk about that later. Statistically, the numbers are actually very close. But, yeah. Salute to Antonio Brown.
So Megatron played for Detroit, and Antonio Brown
put up ungodly numbers in Pittsburgh. Because we know Hines Ward didn't put up those numbers.
Wow.
And Hines Ward definitely wasn't returning punts for touchdowns. And the Dark Knight don't count because that shit was a movie, and he's not outrunning anybody on a punt return to the end zone.
Wow, you really didn't have to come for the Hines Ward.
Hines Ward is not better than Antonio Brown. So, therefore, neither one of them are going to get in the Hall of Fame, most likely. Okay. But the NFL
I think Hines Ward's a better football player in general.
Hines Ward's a tight end playing receiver.
He's not that big, though.
He's sick, yeah, but he blocked like Gronk.
So
he blocks like hitter. Gronk.
He could hit.
Yeah. He broke people's jaws. Like, Hines Ward, if he was a tight end, I'd say first ballot Hall of Famer. But with those numbers, I don't think he puts up those numbers anywhere else. I think it was the system and the culture. Like,
speaking
he's a great player.
Speaking of Pittsburgh receivers,
gone in Pittsburgh?
Huh? Yeah, that culture's gone.
In Pittsburgh?
It's gone, and then he rode it with Big Ben's arm talent.
Speaking of Pittsburgh culture, why is Antwaan Randle ill on this rundown?
Maybe you should read it out loud since he was on a. By the way, shout out to the most diverse.
Damn,
Super
bro!
Bowl
I was out here trying to throw you fucking lobs anymore. Are we washed now? Are we have no more chemistry? You can't answer the fucking question.
I am, but it was a really fucked up lob where I didn't even have to go all the way back for it.
It's like you caught it and then threw it back to me, and it was a travel.
No.
That's exactly what happened.
No,
you caught it in the air.
No,
and you tried to throw it again to me to dunk it in the air for some reason.
I double pumped it. You cut me off.
It just went out of bounds.
I double pumped it and then dunked on somebody, and they got ejected for staring down at the ref.
No. You
That's
didn't
what
dunk
happened.
that.
No, I dunked that. I dunked it because, by the way, he's on the most diverse coaching staff to ever win a Super Bowl ever, and maybe in sports. All Bruce Arians' assistants were either black or women. You can't get more diverse than that. So salute to that coaching staff. He had 2 women on his coaching staff. One was the defensive line assistant coach, I think, and one was strength and conditioning. And his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and a bunch of his assistants, all black, all former players. See, diversity, saying diversity.
Arians then the minority in Tampa Bay?
We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna say that during Black History Month.
He's an old white dude living in Tampa Bay. He's the majority.
He's the one white dude that every black person that I know is probably cool with, and he rocks the fedora properly. He rocks that hat the way you're supposed to rock it. He doesn't put it behind his head. He rocks it right there on the brim.
Didn't he beat cancer?
Shaved his head,
too?
yeah. He shaved his head too. Like he's smooth with it. Like Bruce Arians is smooth with it. Like when they did the special,
he had his mom at the game and was like, I guess his mom was really the one who pushed him to get back into coaching.
He was actually a quarterback for Virginia Tech, and actually I think still has the record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in Virginia Tech history with like 11 or 12. But he averaged like 2.8 yards a carry, so it was disgusting. But that was way back.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, I just told you he has the most rushing touchdowns in Virginia Tech history for a quarterback.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I mean, he was pretty athletic back in his heyday. You should go look at some of the pictures. But yeah,
we can finish this discussion offline.
It's a fact, but he averaged 2.8 yards a carry, so I don't know what to tell you. But with that,
it's easy when you're white and you get your number called, huh?
I mean,
in Virginia,
it was
we just talked about Virginia.
I mean, we did.
We could talk about Virginia every week. Honestly,
we could really like. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on in Virginia that we could talk about. But most importantly, when it comes to that, a lot of teams ran the wishbone back in the day because passing wasn't a thing. So a lot of QBs who probably had no business running the ball were getting mad touchdowns, and their running backs are probably pissed about it. Like in that one movie with Varsity Blues. There we go.
I'm just saying,
like that one movie, Varsity Blues, where the black running back got all his
like you're out here talking
taken.
about Virginia Tech, one of the
schools known for running backs and defensive players, mainly corners,
and running QBs.
Only one. There's only one, bro.
There's
Michael.
two.
There's Michael.
There's 2.
Who else?
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor wasn't a running quarterback. He was an athletic.
He could run.
He could run, and he chose not to most of the time because that offense was mad conservative.
That's what I'm saying. So you're going to tell me this team that's
he was a passing quarterback.
So you're going to tell me this program that's had all these athletes at quarterback.
And nobody broke Bruce Arians' record?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This old white dude who got his number called a bunch of times in a wishbone offense when everyone was probably on Virginia Tech campus saying, boy, and you want to over here and parade that stat. I'm just confused considering you're Kenny Frank James Berry.
He's a cool white dude. If I co-sign a white dude, that takes a lot for me to co-sign a white man.